Today we're diving into the intense world of the 2002 sci-fi action movie Equilibrium. So, buckle up, keep your eyes wide open, and stay safe. The story kicks off in Libya, a cold and brutal city-state built by the survivors of World War III. This society believes that human emotions caused the war, and to prevent another catastrophe, anything that sparks feelings is strictly forbidden. Music, books, and art? All illegal. People live under constant fear, forced to inject themselves daily with a drug called Prosium 2, designed to wipe out emotions. Anyone who dares to feel is labeled a sense offender and faces a quick, deadly punishment. Father, the mysterious leader of Libya, controls the masses with endless propaganda playing on giant screens. His messages are everywhere, keeping the people in line. The Tetragrammaton Council rules with iron fists, and at the very top of their brutal enforcement are the Grammaton clerics. These guys are no ordinary cops. They master the deadly martial art of gun kata, a technique that makes them unstoppable in combat. It boosts their shooting efficiency by 120% and helps them dodge return fire like pros. Their job? Hunt down sense offenders and burn everything illegal. Books, art, and music. Mercy? Not a chance. But beneath the surface, a rebellious fire is starting to burn. A brave resistance called the Underground is determined to shatter the system and bring down Father and his oppressive council. In 2072, John Preston is one of the most feared enforcers in Libya. As a high-ranking cleric, his job is to destroy anything that makes people feel, books, art, and music, and to execute sense offenders without a second thought. But Preston carries a painful secret of his own. His wife, Viviana, was put to death for refusing to take her Prosium, the drug that kills all emotions. Now, Preston is raising their 2 children alone, teaching them to obey the system that tore their family apart. One day, after a routine raid on a home filled with forbidden treasures, Preston notices something strange about his partner, Errol Partridge. Instead of burning a book of poetry like he's supposed to, Partridge quietly tucks it away. This tiny act of rebellion sparks Preston's curiosity. Later, Preston visits the evidence center, only to find out that Partridge never turned in the book. Suspicion growing, Preston tracks him down to a forbidden zone outside the city known as the Nether, where the rules of Libya are nothing but shadows. There, in the quiet, he finds Partridge sitting with the contraband book, lost in its words. When Preston confronts him, Partridge speaks with a calm, unshakable truth. He admits that feeling is worth the punishment. For a moment, the air between them is heavy with unspoken understanding. But duty comes first. As Partridge reaches slowly for his gun, Preston pulls the trigger and ends his friend's life. In Libya, feeling costs everything, and following orders is the only way to survive. Or is it? One morning, John Preston's world shifts when he accidentally breaks his daily vial of Prosium. It spills out before he can stop it, leaving him without the emotion-blocking drug that keeps him numb and obedient. He knows the rules. Missing even one dose is dangerous. To stay in line, he must report to the Equilibrium, a massive, heavily guarded building that serves as the government's nerve center, where doses are strictly monitored and distributed. But before he can make his way there, his plans take a sharp turn. His new partner arrives unexpectedly, ready for their next raid. Preston doesn't have time to explain or refill his Prosium. With emotions quietly stirring inside him for the first time in years, he has no choice but to hide the truth and follow orders. Every step on this raid could expose him. Every feeling could be his last. Without Prosium dulling his senses, Preston begins to notice things he never paid attention to before. The warmth of sunlight on his skin, the sound of rain tapping on windows. These brief moments stir something deep inside, memories, feelings, and suddenly, the world around him feels sharper, more alive. Instead of reporting his missing dose, he makes a dangerous choice. He skips more doses, hiding the unused vials behind the bathroom mirror, each one a silent rebellion against the life he's always known. Meanwhile, Partridge's seat isn't empty for long. Brant, a sharp, ambitious new partner, steps into the role. He's eager to rise through the ranks and openly admires Preston for his uncompromising dedication to the job. But Brant's loyalty to the system runs deep, and he's always watching. On their next raid, the tension rises when they discover a hidden room filled with forbidden treasures from the old world, a secret collection of books, art, and music. The sense offender behind it all is a woman named Mary O'Brien. She's caught red-handed, and when Preston finds her, she grabs a gun and tries to shoot him. He stops her easily, but instead of letting Brant kill her on the spot, Preston does something unexpected. He demands she be kept alive for interrogation. Brant's eyes narrow with suspicion as he questions why Preston would hesitate. Mary, calm but defiant, tells Preston that the point of her existence is to feel. Every word she speaks only deepens the cracks forming in his carefully constructed world. Despite his growing doubts, Preston orders Mary to be sent for processing at the Palace of Justice, knowing full well what her fate will be. As Preston's emotions awaken, the weight of his past actions crushes him. Memories of killing Partridge haunt his thoughts, and he feels a sharp, unfamiliar pain, remorse. His encounters with Mary O'Brien only deepen his turmoil. Her defiance, her calm acceptance of emotion, draw him in. Against everything he's been taught, an emotional connection begins to grow between them. During a raid on a resistance group that attacked a prosium factory, Preston unleashes his deadly skills, eliminating the fighters without hesitation. But when the smoke clears, he stumbles upon a hidden basement filled with old-world treasures. Among the forbidden relics, life itself hides in the form of a puppy, a playful, innocent creature whose very existence breaks the law. Brant's sharp eyes don't miss a thing. His suspicions of Preston deepen when he sees him protect the puppy instead of ordering its execution. Every step Preston takes makes Brant more certain that something is off. Later, Preston risks everything. He sneaks back to the Nether, determined to free the puppy where it can live without fear. But he isn't alone. Brant follows him in secret, watching his every move. Just as Preston releases the puppy into the wild, a team of police enforcers arrives, guns drawn. Their orders are clear: shoot on sight. But Preston's instincts take over. His gun-kata training erupts with deadly precision, and in the blink of an eye, he cuts through his opponents with flawless speed and brutal efficiency. The world is changing inside him, and there's no going back now. Preston is summoned to a private meeting with Vice Consul DuPont, the powerful figure who speaks to the people as the voice of Father. His calm demeanor hides a sharp mind, and every word carries weight. DuPont leans forward, his eyes never leaving Preston. He reveals a dangerous truth: there's a traitor among the highest ranks of the clerics. Preston's heart pounds, but he keeps his face blank, hiding the storm of emotion threatening to break free. He knows the truth DuPont is hinting at: the traitor is him. Yet instead of exposing Preston outright, DuPont does something unexpected. He gives Preston the mission of uncovering the traitor himself. The room feels colder as the Vice Consul's words settle in. Preston, both relieved and wary, accepts the task with a steady voice. He promises to find and destroy the leadership of the underground, but inside he knows the truth is a sword hanging by a thread, and each step forward brings him closer to the blade. On the next raid, Preston's heart pounds with a new purpose. While searching a house, he finds a group of resistors hidden behind the walls. Instead of turning them in, he silently allows them to escape. His betrayal deepens when he's forced to kill a squad of police enforcers who discover the fugitives. The air is thick with danger, and his actions leave no room for doubt. Preston is no longer just a servant of the system, but Brant is relentless. He tracks down the resistors and ruthlessly wipes them out. His suspicions about Preston grow sharper with every encounter, yet the resistors who survive whisper about Preston with new hope. He's becoming their secret ally. As Preston digs deeper into the truth, he uncovers a connection between Errol and Mary that had been hidden in plain sight. His questions lead him down a dark path through the maze of government halls until he stumbles upon a terrifying revelation. The heart of the rebellion is hidden within the very system he once served. There, he meets Jurgen, the determined leader of the underground. Jurgen's eyes burn with conviction as he lays out a daring plan, disrupting prosium production to ignite a rebellion among the people. But he knows it won't be enough. To break the iron grip of control, Father must be assassinated. Preston listens, his mind racing with possibilities and danger. The world he once upheld now stands on the edge of collapse, and his next move could shatter it forever. As the day of O'Brien's execution draws near, Jurgen warns Preston not to interfere. He believes stopping the execution would ruin the plans for the revolution they've worked so hard to set in motion. But Preston, unable to stand by and watch, tries to stop the execution anyway. He fails, and in that moment, everything inside him breaks. The emotions he's fought so hard to hide spill over. Brant arrives, catching him in his weakest moment, and arrests him. He brings Preston before DuPont, who's ready to deal with this betrayal once and for all. But Preston isn't done yet. He quickly thinks of a plan to save himself. In a daring move, he tricks DuPont into believing that Brant is the traitor, pointing out that it was Brant's gun used in the 2 massacres of the police enforcers. Preston had secretly switched his own gun with Brant's earlier. With Brant arrested, DuPont tells Preston his home will be searched, just a simple formality. Preston knows this is his chance, and he rushes home in a panic, desperate to destroy the vials of prosium he's hidden. But when he gets there, he finds his son, Robbie, already has destroyed them. Robbie stopped taking prosium long ago after his mother died, and now he's living without the drug, just like Preston. In that moment, Preston realizes that the rebellion isn't just about the world he once knew. It's about his own family, his own emotions, and the fight to feel again. Jurgen gives Preston a difficult task. He must capture the leaders of the resistance to gain back the government's trust. The goal? To get close enough to assassinate Father and end the control the government has over the people. Preston agrees, knowing it's his only shot at ending the tyranny once and for all. Soon after, Preston is granted an exclusive meeting with Father, but when he arrives, he he discovers something shocking. Brant wasn't arrested at all. The arrest was a trick, a clever ruse to trap Preston and expose his connection with the underground. DuPont steps forward, revealing the truth. He is father. The man Preston thought was just a high-ranking official had secretly replaced the original father, who had died long ago. To make things worse, DuPont doesn't take prosium. He doesn't need it to suppress his emotions. He enjoys the power, and he taunts Preston, asking how it feels to betray the underground and the people who trusted him. Preston's anger boils over. He can't stand to hear DuPont's mocking voice, and without thinking, he charges toward DuPont's office, cutting down a small army of bodyguards with his deadly gun Kata skills. At the end of the hall, he finally comes face to face with Brant. In a fierce katana battle, Preston ends Brant's life, his rage and guilt driving him to finish the fight once and for all. The war has only just begun, and Preston knows the hardest part is still ahead. The final battle is here. Preston and DuPont face off in a fierce gun Kata showdown. They move fast, each one trying to outsmart the other. Preston's skills are unmatched, and after a tense moment, he defeats DuPont. DuPont pleads for his life, asking, "Is it really worth the price?" Preston remembers Partridge's final words, and with determination in his voice answers, "I pay it gladly." With those words, he ends DuPont's life, finishing the fight that had started long ago. Preston doesn't stop there. He destroys the command center that broadcasted Father's propaganda, taking down the system that kept the people under control. From above, Preston watches as the underground begins to destroy prosium factories, signaling the start of the revolution. The world is changing, and Preston knows this is just the beginning. The fight for freedom has begun. So, which awesome movie should we recap next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below and let's make it happen. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss out on our movie recaps. We've got plenty more coming your way. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Produced by Warner Movie Recaps 2.